Good morning, Hannah. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic. Very excited to talk with you because I'm very proud of your journey because, they always talk about, don't leave your digital imprint on the planet. Well, one thing that we're missing is that we're supposed to leave something of ourselves. And I love how everything that you do is an extension of everybody that came before you. And through your writing, through everything that you're doing, you are growing forward always.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
It takes guts to do what you do, especially when you're putting your words in a book. I mean, what did you feel inside of you that said, you know what, I'm going to be a writer because I know I'm being called to be a writer?
Well, a lot of the things that people have, found me on this journey have been things I never really dreamed being possible in my life. I didn't really set out to be a reality TV personality. But one thing I always did want to do was take up the challenge of writing a novel at some time of my life. I mean, my first book was a book more about my life, which I never thought, again, people would be that interested. But this is truly like the first dream come true of a dream I could dream up. So I think what I've learned is just going back to my roots and what really is are passion projects for me, and now being able to have the opportunity to do those. And so Mistakes We Never Made is really exciting. And I'm so excited for people to get to read it. And then, just continue on this journey in what I like to say, my author era.
Well, the title itself says so much, and it's so marketable in your name in the way that, yes, we do learn about Emma and Finn, but you could turn this thing into a podcast and invite people onto the show to talk about the mistakes that we never made, but we should have made.
Oh, hey, thanks for the idea. But yeah, I think it's so relatable. Yes, I think people could see that for my name, but I think for anyone, like you said, like everybody has a story of in their life of something that, I think it's normally, unfortunately, like a limiting belief or fear that has made us second guess or question or not be able to take that risk that life really requires for growth. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that we can make. And I know in my life, I've taken lots of risk, and there could be a lot of things people say were maybe a mistake, or, even my time on Bachelorette didn't end up the way that, I hoped, or maybe other people hoped, but I grew so much from that. And I'm so glad that I took the risk because it helps me learn so much more about myself, what I want in love, what I don't. And now I'm in, a really happy relationship that, maybe if I hadn't taken all those risks, I wouldn't be ready for. So I think mistakes we never made can really apply to a lot of things, but I do think especially love is always worth the risk.
Yeah. Even when you were on Special Forces on Fox, I mean, I sat there and I would go, man, she's doing everything. And like you talk about, you like to take those risks. I openly admit I'm addicted to excitement. Do you follow that same path?
Look, I really do. It's funny though. I always say I am, but I always do it scared. Yeah. I mean, even if it comes to silly things like roller coasters, or when I went skydiving, like I'm crying. Everything in me is saying, don't do this. I don't think I'm like one of those thrill seekers that's like, absolutely. But I know that I'll be so disappointed if I don't ride the roller coaster or don't take the opportunity to say something to somebody that I really admire. Like, even though I get scared, I'm going to do it anyway. And I kind of love that about myself, but it does keep me in a state of always being a little fearful, but it's triggering something in my brain that even when I don't want to put myself in an uncomfortable feeling for a second, that there's always a way through it and there's always a way past it. And I'm glad that I am that way.
Yeah. How do you deal with those people that hear what you have done in life? Because we do love to have accomplishments, but then they look at you going, I don't believe you. And because I'm running into a lot of that right now where people will go, you did not. I'm going, I did. And you seem to be the same type of personality where you're going to have to hit a wall of these people that go, come on, Hannah, did you really?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I I definitely surprise a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like you said, like I definitely have shocked, especially like I said, I mean, I was when I started on all these shows, I was like a beauty queen. I had done like pageants in small town Alabama and became Miss Alabama and did that. But like, I don't think sometimes some of the things that I've done or, you know, the next title or thing by my name, I think I do shock people, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with proving myself and being a little bit more than meets the eye. It's also that same thing of just like, sometimes I have to also like for my own self, remind myself that I can do it or that surprise my own self in the same breath too. And I think that's what continues to make me a stronger, more resilient, more relatable person because I put myself in different experiences to either win, grow, learn, sometimes fail, but still learn from that. And you know, it creates more stories and good conversations.
Yes,
so
yeah.
I'm okay with it. Yeah.
In Mistakes Never Made, Emma and Finn have to pretend that they don't remember. Where did this seed come from? Because, you know, we all want to play Let's Pretend, but we don't. I've never played Let's Pretend We Don't Remember.
Well, I don't think it's fully that they don't remember. I think there's a lot of miscommunication in their past.
Okay. Yep.
They each have their own story, but haven't done the best job of communicating that to each other. So they've had a lot of almost in their life where they've almost been able to make a relationship, but haven't quite. And so in this story, Emma and Finn kind of go on a wild road trip together as they try to find their mutual best friend, Sybil, who's run away from her own wedding. And they're kind of forced into that like forced proximity of it all on this road trip to have some of these tougher conversations, really get to the bottom of what were you thinking? What was I thinking? And how do we get this wrong? And do we have each other wrong of like who we actually are? And can we make the mistake that we have not made? And that's fall in love.
See, I think one of the reasons why I can relate with this is because my first wife, her whole entire philosophy was, if we're not talking about it, it didn't happen. And so it's like, I want to know what Emma and Finn are going to do here because I want to learn, okay, that would be one of the mistakes I made. And what would have happened if I would have never made that mistake by saying, please tell me more, tell me more, tell me more.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's where we all have somebody in our life, a relationship where if we would have, you know, whether that's maturity or time or just in a different place personally where there was so much misunderstanding or miscommunication that of course we couldn't get it right. And we can look back on, you know, old relationships and be like, I wonder if this were to work out, this love would come into my life now, would it be different from what I've learned? And that's why I love a second chance romance. And that's what this is of these people, even though Emma and Finn never like formally dated, they had a lot of almost. And now that we're like in a car together and have some time to talk and have this conversation, like what could happen? Because there's definitely feelings still there. So can we get it right this time?
Yeah. This book is coming out at the perfect time because the summer reads are out, and I would love to see what your reaction is going to be when you go walking by somebody who's reading this book, and they're not going to realize it was you walking by. And number two, rom-coms are back. People are in love with watching other people be in love or just be darn good friends.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. I really do think this is like an epic rom-com for the summer. It's great for a beach read, and that will be really cool. You know, one day to just happen upon somebody reading my book. That will really be a dream come true. But yeah, I love the comeback of the rom-com. I think it's great. I think after everything that we all went through collectively during COVID, I think we all need a little bit of something just lighthearted. Like
Yep.
in a romance novel, we know we're going to get that happily ever after. And I think we all need that optimism in our life, that people, have some type of situation that needs to be addressed and can work it out and get a happy ending in the end. So I love it, and I'm glad to be in this space.
Wow. You've got to come back to this show anytime in the future, Hannah. The door is always going to be open for you.
Thank you so much. This was lovely.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
Thank you. You as well. Bye-bye.